ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, from the moment that you chose your husband or your wife, you embarked on a critical journey. You began a journey of great responsibility and great amana. And every week, as masajid and the shuyukh and brothers within the masajid, they are often contacted by brothers and sisters within our community. And people reach out and they complain about something their son or daughter is going through. Maybe it's a drug problem. Maybe their son has left home or their daughter has ran away, or some difficult and tragic stories. And we see this quite frequently. And of course, all of us see this through our friends and family and people we know. We see examples of our sons and daughters falling victim to the fitan and the trials and tribulations that we are encountering in this society. For many of the immigrants who come here, they come here hoping for a better life. But many of them, they don't know enough about the challenges that we face in this society. They did not grow up here. They did not go to school here. They did not experience the challenges that the children and youth are facing in this day and age. And for those who grew up here, many of us, we think we know everything because we grew up here. And to some extent we know, but things are quite different from when we grew up to what the youth are facing nowadays. The filth, the munkar, the wickedness and evil that is spreading within the society is getting worse and worse, generation after generation. We need to wake up to what is going on around us. We need to be attuned to what our children and our youth are facing. We need to be up to the responsibility that comes with becoming a parent. When you have children, this is a great amana. This is a great responsibility. And we've become confused about what is the duty of a parent. What is our job? What should we be doing? Many parents are just blaming their children. I don't know why this kid is like this. I don't know why this kid went astray. We provided, we took care of him. In general, our children and the youth that we are raising, they are a reflection of the type of home and parenting that took place. Of course, we don't control the guidance of our children, but we have to take bil asbab, we have to take with the means that are available to us. I see with my own eyes some of the most careless and insane parenting, and people are just normal and casual about it, like it's no big deal. We do things and we put our head in the sand and we ignore it, like it's no big deal. A simple example, I see many of our children and our youth not praying Salat al-Jum'ah, maybe not praying even at all. When you are parenting, the way you parent teaches your child what's important, what matters, what's critical. When your kid comes home and he's skipping school, you sit him down and you make a big deal about it. When your kid doesn't do well in his grades at school, you sit him down and you make a big deal about it in many cases. But when your kid is not praying, are you making a big deal about it? Does it even matter to you? Do you even talk to him about it? Are you even bothered? I see many parents putting their kids in schools that do not have a Jum'ah prayer. There's no Salat Jum'ah in that school. And the parent just, what can I do? It's like it doesn't matter. We have to be able to value what's important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, O you who believe, O you who believe, shield, protect yourself and your families from the hellfire. قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. This is the top priority. This is the number one job as a parent, to protect your family from the hellfire. Believe it or not, it's not your number one priority to make your child live a comfortable life. Nothing wrong with that, but it's not the number one priority. It's not your number one priority to make sure he has every whim and desire that he wants. Get him the best toys, get him the best games, get him the best clothing. Many people parent from this point of view. Take him to the nicest vacations, make sure he's always mikayyif and having the best time. And we feel happy, we see our kids happy. And by the way, like I said, nothing wrong with all this. But at the same time, we are ignoring some very important matters. I see children growing up, they know nothing, next to nothing about their deen. We're not concerned. We're not wondering, does my kid know his religion? Does my kid understand Islam? Is my kid practicing Islam? Does my kid have good morals and values that he's been taught from his deen? This should be something of great importance, of great significance. Otherwise, you are raising a child who will grow up to be a jahil. He will be ignorant of his deen. He could be very well educated in the dunya. He could have a PhD. He could be very successful in a worldly sense, but be a jahil of his deen. And if he's a jahil of his deen, what kind of Muslim will he become? Our goal and our hope should be to raise righteous children. We want to see our son and daughter to grow up and be righteous, to have deen, to have khuluq, to be a real man, to one day be a great father, a great husband. to practice his Islam. This is what should matter to us above all things. I see in the da'wah scene, parents are eager to enroll their children in soccer programs, or basketball, or hockey. I see parents with great discipline and great commitment to have their kids have a good time. And again, I have to keep saying the qualifying statement so nobody gets offended. Nothing wrong with this. But when we promote halaqat and Islamic lessons and programs, why don't we see the same discipline and commitment for our children to attend? You as a parent are responsible for this. Why are you not seeking out programs, halaqat, lessons, so your child is learning their deen? We send our children to school 6-8 hours a day to learn about the dunya. And when we have an Islamic halaqah for 1 hour in the week, we don't want to give it the time of day. We don't want to give it even attention. We pretend we forget, we didn't hear, we were busy. They went to play, so they couldn't make it. I see this. I have some shabab, we do halaqat with them. And alhamdulillah, some of them, they're very committed and they come. And some they come and they don't come, they miss. But nobody really cares if they come or not. There's not many parents who are attentive to this. I speak to you as somebody who grew up in this balad, born and raised here. The importance of embedding your child into an Islamic environment, I cannot exaggerate its importance enough. The environment is a protection. The Islamic environment is a protection. Picture a child, a son or a daughter. You are telling him al-haram wal-halal. You're telling the daughter, you must wear the hijab. But she goes out in the society and everybody she knows doesn't wear the hijab. She starts to think, my parents are difficult. My parents are extreme. She starts to think, only my parents are telling me to wear hijab, nobody else is. But when you put her in an environment where she's around muhajjabat, where our children grow up together in a safe, protected environment, this is a protection. This helps her. This supports her, where she feels like the hijab is something normal. Everybody around her is wearing. Her role models, her mentors, the older ladies in front of her, she respects. They're all wearing it. So this is a big factor that you should take your son and daughter and make sure they are part of the masjid community. Make sure there are halaqat and programs that they attend consistently. Because it's important. It's not about the sheikh or the imam. It's about the value of the Quran and the Sunnah that is being put into their life. You as a parent have to establish your authority. Sometimes I talk to a parent and I encourage them, bring your son to the halaqah, bring your family to the masjid. And he will say something like, they don't want to. And he's not that interested. Who's in charge of the home? Who's the leader? If your kid came to you and said, yeah, Dad, I don't want to go to school anymore, are you going to tell him, yeah, he's not interested, khalas, don't go, habibi. You are the parent. You are the leader. You have to establish that leadership. Don't settle. We see so many parents that settle. Khalas, he's smoking weed. What are we going to do? Khalas, he's smoking weed. We have to be parents, we have to establish boundaries. Boundaries that are according to the Sharia, according to Islam. Because we know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed to us is what is best. It's what is best for our family, for our children, for our wives, for our kids. So it's time for us to wake up and establish in our homes the Sharia of Allah Azza wa Jal. So we raise kids who are righteous on the straight path. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to what is best. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Oftentimes I see some of the new parents who grew up here and maybe they came from a home that had a lot of rules, so they think it's cool, or I'm gonna be a friend to my kid. They think I want my kid to be my best friend. And there's nothing wrong with being friendly with your kid, but don't lose sight that you are a parent first and foremost. And a parent sometimes has to prescribe things that are in the best interest of the kid, even though they don't like it. This is necessary. This is part of being parent. You can't just do whatever they want because it feels good or you just enjoy seeing them happy. You have to do what is best for them. One of these things involves supervision. You have to know where's your kid going? Who are his friends? What is he doing? You have to communicate. You have to be informed. Otherwise, how are you going to deal with him? How are you going to teach him or her? You don't know what they're up to. You're not paying attention. You're not involved. There's no supervision. One of the disastrous things that leads to kids going astray is you give a young child too much independence, too much freedom, and they're ill-equipped to deal with that. They're not prepared to deal with the fitan and all the temptations that are out there. But he's granted all the independence and the freedom in the world. He's granted a car. He's granted to do whatever he wants. And then we wonder why they go astray, or why they fall victim to shaitan or to temptations. This type of parenting is very, very careless. When you look at the story of the man who killed 99 people, and then he went to seek out to make tawbah, and he found a abid, a worshipper, and they asked, am I able to make tawbah? He told them no, he killed him. He killed 100 people. And then he went out again, he found a alim. The alim told him, yes, you can make tawbah. But he told him, go to such and such a place. There are people who worship Allah over there. Worship Allah with them. The environment is critical. That's why we are focused on building schools, Islamic schools for our community, to create a safe environment. We are focused on creating programs for our youth, so the youth have an environment where they're around Muslimin, people with similar morality, similar values, coming from families who are adhering to Islamic morals and values. You feel safe when your children are there. They are learning. They are growing in a safe environment where everybody is trying to live the right way. Be careful about throwing your kids in environments that are full of fitan and full of temptations, and then the child falls victim to it. My dear brothers and sisters, as parents, we have a great responsibility. Let's be up to the task. Forgive me if I'm harsh in our words, but it's not so easy to correct a disastrous problem. When I get parents that come to me, my son is doing all these drugs, my son has run away from home. There's no simple, miraculous solution to fix that. But when we're in the stage of preventing it, this is what's easier and this is what should be our priority. So ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to what is best. Allahumma aghfir lana dhunubana wa'afina wa'afu anna. Allahumma ahdina wahdi bina waj'alna hudatan mahdiyyin. Allahumma adkhilna al-jannah bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آل محمد وأقم الصلاة